Okay, opening piece to camera. You ready, Joan?
Yep.
Okay, and action.
When I'm doing a story, you usually see it only from this side of the camera. This time, we're going behind the scenes to take a look at a garden that belongs to one of the producers on Gardening Australia. I've worked with Albert for many years, doing stories from all over the place, and I'm really excited to see what he's been up to in his own garden.
And cut.
Yay! We last visited Albert's place in Deer Park in Melbourne's western suburbs back in 2017, when he was busy stripping his garden.
Hopefully it'll survive.
Everything, including roses, apples, citrus and veggie beds, were removed and relocated so he could create a blank canvas and start all over again. How have you done things differently this time around?
Well, the main thing I've done is I did a plan, and I've thought about it a lot more before I just rushed into plant things. And also I have achieved a bit of my life's goal, which is to do a semi-formal native garden.
And why did you choose that sort of style?
Partly in reaction to where I live, where there's not many gardens around me, and so there's not much for wildlife or birds, and I'm pretty conscious of that. I was hoping that if there were lots of local natives from my area, that it would attract the wildlife that go with those plants. I was really keen to do that.
The block is 420 square metres and is dominated by a large house. The garden wraps around with a large space out the back and narrow areas either side.
This is a side garden, and it's pretty narrow. As you can see, it's only really an arm span across.
Yeah. It's lovely, though. I think the repetition of all the plants is really good.
Well, I didn't want to have too many species, so there's only three. There's the correa hedge.
Yeah.
There's the poas either side, which are local species.
Yeah, and flowering, look at that.
And flowering.
Wow.
And also there's the clistamon wilderness white, which have white flowers.
Yeah.
And I'm espaliering those so they hug the fence.
So if ever they dare to grow out here, you just go chop.
Absolutely, because if I let them go, they would just be out here.
Yes.
And because it's a limited space, I want to make sure that everything, allows access and acts politely together. This is the back garden. And so one of the first things I did when I redid everything was put in this footpath, which is recycled bricks either side with crushed sandstone. It's very straight. So to counteract that, I did the correa hedge. And the correa hedge does this serpentine pattern across the path to sort of break it up.
Yeah, and do you leave it to flower and then prune it back?
Yes. Yeah. I'm reasonably tough on it because I know if you let it go, it'll get really big.
Yeah.
Because it's correa alba, so I do try to keep it nice and low. So as it sort of does those curves, it gives me places to plant in. So in this garden, as well as having some just standard Australian natives, I wanted to really champion local plants from the area. So there's a lot of plants here which are from the Western Plains of Melbourne. Yeah. Because, they're sort of lost because there's been so much development here. Yeah. You don't see so many of them anymore. So I really wanted to, make them heroes of this garden.
And the colour scheme you've got is really pleasant to be in.
It's meant to be a relaxing haven in my backyard, so all the colours are cool colours. It's all silvers, greys, purples, blues, which made it challenging when I was looking for plants because everything had to fit that parameter.
So no oranges or reds or yellows?
No. Because my previous garden I had in here was like this chaotic cottage garden. It was roses and it was lavender hedges, everything was jammed in together. So this time around I wanted to be more disciplined and I...
This is typical Albert, See his blue folder and the red biro? Well, that is typical Albert. He ticks and crosses and do it again. And, that's very good. I like it. So it's a disciplined garden.
It is.
Where are we up to on the script, Albert?
Well, we're doing pretty well. We've still got voiceovers to do.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we're doing pretty well.
Good.
I think just got to work a bit harder.
Oh. This one's doing beautifully.
Look, I do love a native hibiscus, allergine, because those flowers, look at those purple flowers.
Yeah.
And I'll reflect that purple of flowers, in the purple bench over there.
And then the grey leaf, again. This is great.
It's an olearia.
Yes. This is one I like, tea trees.
Yep. This is a local leptospermum and from this area. And I have tried to keep things pruned. And Not every plant's happy to be pruned. You can
Yeah.
see with the native hibiscus, you know, originally I tried to make like a hedge, and it wasn't happy being a hedge.
No, I'm not going to be a hedge, not for Albert. I'm not even going to do it for him.
So-
But it's nice. It's still got plenty of new growth and new
Yeah.
flowering. That's good.
But I have to keep it contained because it gets
Yes,
enormous.
Too big.
And because it's quite shallow rooted, the bigger I let it go, it's like a big sail.
Yes.
So,
And the same with the tea tree. I'd say
Yeah.
just keep it pruned, and that
Yeah.
looks really good. And that's a great thing, the Busari is.
they're my favourites. Actually, all these plants here were grown from tube stock.
Wow.
So, you know, 4 years ago, they were tube stock about this big. And that's what they are now. The Busari must be like 4 metres high now.
Busari spinosa.
That's
I
the
like
one.
its name.
And I've grown a bit back in the path because they're very spiky. I wanted a eucalypt which wasn't going to get too big because it's quite a narrow space. It's only about
It is 2 or 3 metres.
2 or 3
right?
metres.
Yeah.
And I was worried with eucalypts particularly, I didn't want to choose the wrong species and have this enormous tree in 20 years in my backyard.
So you've pruned it.
I have pruned it.
Not sure.
I know.
I think it'll come good. It just looks a bit sort of bare, doesn't it, at the
does.
moment? But I think it will come good. You've got new shoots here, and that's good. This is a beauty, though. Where does it come from originally?
Near Canberra, it's a Walgan snow gum.
Oh, I like the trunk.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and it's a mallee eucalypt, which means a lignant tuber, and lots of shoots come from the base. But I want a single trunk, so every time another shoot comes up, I prune it off.
You're asking a lot of this little plant.
Well, it's still growing.
Good on you, Albert. So you're telling people, don't worry about pruning.
Give it a go. I mean, I know. I think don't be scared because things will grow back eventually.
This is a very popular eucalypt, and it's a beauty.
This is Eucalyptus crenulata. So it's a Victorian native, and I've chosen because it's a small eucalypt, and because I wanted to grow them in pots.
And it's got that silvery blue look again. In fact, it's called the Victorian silver gum.
The only thing, every year it gets eaten by moths. So you can see cocoons here,
Yes.
and all these skeletonized leaves.
Yes.
So when that first happened, I thought, oh. So I consulted a moth expert to find out what they were,
Yeah.
and they're a ribbed case moth, so the local moth.
There's the little case moth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gorgeous, aren't they?
And the advice was, if I could stand it, to let them eat leaves because, you know, they need all the help they can get.
Wow, because moths are really important. Remember we did that story? We did it at night, the moth story, and it was really good because it was so pertinent that we have to be careful of moths because they're great pollinators.
And also they're food source for wildlife.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he said, if you can stand it, let the moths eat leaves.
Yeah.
And that's what I do now. Every year, pretty much, they eat almost all the leaves on the
and
trees.
they'll come good. Look at that.
They come
That's
good.
the old one, and there's the new ones there that are coming good.
Yeah.
Now, this is a different one for me. I don't know it.
It's a local plant. It's Gatric Pella.
Okay.
And I got it because I wanted to screen the fence, and it grows to about 2.5 metres high.
Oh, so good, really good and high.
Yeah.
It screened this fence beautifully. So why are these looking like they are?
Well, you know, I do love a prune, perhaps a bit too much, but also because they were really tall and they were in danger of blowing over. But it's a good example of, you know, a local indigenous plant that most people wouldn't heard of, and really pretty. You can see he's got these tiny little cream flowers.
Yeah, no, they're good.
So, and it's a good screening plant.
Yeah.
This is the far side garden, and it's only about like, you know, maybe a metre wide, so it's very narrow.
And it's one of those places that everyone always forgets about.
Well, because it's either full shade or it's full sun, it's really tough.
Very difficult. And what's the soil like over here?
Oh, it's complete clay, you know. So what I've done is I've planted a row of callistemon down the side of the fence.
They're doing well.
They are, and I had to use an auger to dig a hole for the poor things.
Oh, my goodness.
And they've tolerated it.
Yeah. Then this wall here looks really good.
Rather than looking at a colour-bond fence, I did screening and I did this lattice, and I'm just hanging plants off it. So I've got a native dichondra.
Yeah.
And
Bromeliads.
lots of bromeliads. Of course, the good old Hardenbergia,
Which is a local.
which is a local plant, and that's in the clay soil as well, and it's just beautiful because it just sprawls, have those amazing purple flowers.
Yeah. So it's a whole other area that you can have a garden in.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe ask me why I like gardening, I think. For the
Oh, do you think?
Yeah, for the end of the
all
story.
right, okay. So why do you actually like gardening?
Greenery around me makes me feel good, and it reassures me that no matter what might happen elsewhere in the world, how terrible it might be, you know, as long as I've got my little patch of plants doing their thing and wildlife, that I've figured that's something, and that sort of reassures me.
What else can we ask him? Oh dear, oh dear. No, it's all good, Albert.